You're My Sister, Aren't You? By Susan Cootes of Emu Heights, 2750. Narrated by Janine Penfold. She was not like my friends' sisters. They shared things. Thoughts, clothes, ideas, secrets, laughs, as well as disagreements and, at times, harsh words. I don't remember sharing any of these things as a child with her. But then again, there was an 8-year age difference, so maybe that was why? She and I, to a degree, lived our own lives, and I almost felt like I was an only child instead of a little sister. However, in saying that, my life was regimented by her needs and wants. Not that that really bothered me. That was just life. For example, we only ever watched one TV channel when I was a kid because that is what she wanted. She didn't like the other channels. Also, every afternoon after school, instead of playing with my friends, my mum and I went to Bondi Junction from Bronte, where we lived, to pick her up from the small bus that transported her to and from her special needs school. Even though I missed out on the usual neighbourhood play, I could always find some adventure in that afternoon ritual. Yes, she was different. Looked different, spoke different, thought different. But she was still my sister. Just a different kind of sister to what my friends had. But different was normal to me. By the way, my sister's name was Barbara, although she's always got Barb or Barbie, and she had Down syndrome. My mum's life centred mainly around caring for Barb's wants and needs, and church. I believe her great faith was the strength that sustained her in these endless tasks and challenges, all of which were always accomplished with great patience and boundless amount of love. Although Barb's needs were at times many and therefore requiring a lot of attention, I never felt neglected. To the contrary, both my parents made a special effort to give me special time and attention that resulted in my never feeling like I was missing out or less important. It probably helped that I was not a demanding child. I just went with the flow. Que sera, sera. Doris Day had my motto down pat. As I mentioned, life was not without its challenges with Barb and for Barb. Her need for absolute routine and her lack of effective communication skills often resulted in difficult confrontations. In later years, she was to develop a love for the music of Johnny O'Keefe and Cole Joy. She had to play their records every Saturday, no questions or excuses accepted if we wanted peace in the household. But a small price to pay, and let's face it, their music was good. Then there were health problems that, because of her cognitive impairment, could be exasperating. But this was life, and this was hers and our family's normal. Through all this, she did make progress in learning and social skills, sometimes 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But tiny steps are better than none. As I grew, I don't believe that I realised how my sister helped shape my life and personality, and not in a negative way, but for the better. I was to eventually work for over 27 years in the field of special education, believing that my life experiences gave me an insight into this specialised field. Barb, while at school, learned how to make latch-hooked rugs, so she loved to make these and give them to friends and family. She asked for very little in life. On birthdays and at Christmas, she was happy to receive anything, small or large. But more importantly, she was always happier to give a gift. She would often wrap up one of her own treasures and give that to Mum or me for no other reason than she wanted to give. She had, and I hope taught me, a true generosity of spirit. She also had an amazing ability to see true character in people. All the gushy, flowery falseness of some folk went over Barb's head, and it was as if she could see the true character. Quite a gift. My mum and Barb are no longer with us. However, towards the end of their lives, they both came to live with my family and me. My mum by this stage was nearing 90 and legally blind, and Barb, who was nearing 60, also almost blind, and losing a lot of the daily self-care skills she once possessed. At times it was challenging, but mainly it was a pleasure. We as a family grew in patience, understanding, and acceptance far beyond what we already had. I had the privilege of speaking at Barb's funeral, and my theme was that Barb's life, despite its challenges, was a life to celebrate. Yes, her life's journey was not the same as you and I, but instead she hopped, skipped and jumped to her own beautiful beat, with the music of J.O.K. and Cold Joy echoing through. One of my final memories of Barb and I talking together was her saying to me, in her sometimes difficult-to-understand manner, was, "You're my sister, aren't you?" I replied with great joy and pride, "Yes, I am, Barb." The end.